Salut à toutes et à tous et bienvenue dans Story Séries. Cette semaine, on vous a concocté un menu de fête en réunissant nos plus belles rencontres avec des actrices aussi brillantes que talentueuses.
I'm just the luckiest girl in New York.
En attendant la 4e saison de The Handmaid's Tale, qui devrait arriver l'an prochain si tout va bien, on reviendra sur la puissance de la télévision quand elle est bien faite avec l'épatante Elisabeth Moss.
No lead 8 day best artist, Carver and Durham, bitches.
Puis on retrouvera l'anglaise Suranne Jones, à la fois drôle et bouleversante, dans Gentleman Jack, la série biopic qui nous a fait découvrir la vie de l'insaisissable Anne Lister.
We should know about her. Why don't we know about Anne Lister?
Mais avant cela, nous avons rendez-vous par Zoom avec l'immense Nicole Kidman, tête d'affiche du thriller qui nous a donné les plus grosses palpitations cardiaques de la rentrée, The Undoing.
You know, I've been talking with Susan Beer not long ago, and she said you had like some trio conversations with you and David E. Kelly and her. So I wanted to know what kind of conversations did you have and what did you bring on your own to the character? Is there anything particular you decided to bring to Grace?
I was just really interested in the way in which Grace keeps everything inside.
Yeah.
And how is Susanna going to explore that interior life? That's why she would shoot me really, really close. And it was like she was penetrating my brain. I haven't had that happen before, so that was really unusual.
It's very surprising when we see the career you've had to know that you are still discovering or doing things for the first time.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm still learning. I'm still so curious and hopeful about what might be in my future in terms of acting. It's crazy that I still have the amount of passion for it that I had when I would, if not more, that I had in my early 20s, you know, and I don't know if that ever burns out. All I know is it's definitely not a career for me. It's a calling. Yeah. And that is a very different way of looking at something, you know? So as much, even times when I've tried to move away from it, I haven't been able to. My husband says the same thing. He's a musician, so he says the same thing about music. It's like it has this hold on you from the minute you're born. And it's just like pulling you in.
Ellen, I'm sorry. Sorry. Are you okay?
Because sometimes I just feel overwhelmed and lost. Like, do you ever feel that?
If you ever want to talk for free, I apologize. I didn't mean it to sound like that. But if you do ever want to talk.
You're so kind. Thank you.
The thing that I love about the character is that you're watching this marriage unravel, but you're also seeing a woman and her relationship with her son,
Yes.
her relationship with her father, and her relationship with her husband. She tries to keep her relationship together, not only because she still has enormous love for her husband, but because she wants to keep the life for her son intact. And then she has a father who very much enjoys having her back in his life, likes being able to control her, likes being able to have her almost be like the little girl that she was when she was living at home with him. And so all of those things I think are really, really interesting. And I've never gotten to do all of those on screen at the same time.
Exactly how weak do you think I am?
What do you enjoy in television? Because you've been doing it again and again, and thank you because we love to see you. But what is it so special about TV?
It is just another facet of storytelling. I don't actually think of it in terms of what the screen is. I really think of it. The thing that's different with television is you do have the length. You're capable of having a much longer screen time. But, you know, I still love to make movies. But I think it's more just, you know, I'll do theater, I'll do television, I'll do film, as long as the story warrants it, as long as the people that I'm associating with are in pursuit of excellence. And that's exciting for me. And I can align myself with people, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to experiment. No matter what the outcome, the process will be really, really fascinating and interesting. That's important to me.
Thank you so much. From Paris.
Cecilia, what is going on? Are you okay?
I'll explain later. Just go, Emily. Go.
She goes through every kind of emotion you can
Possibly
think of,
imagine,
from very weak to very strong, and she's like everything. And usually actresses say that those kind of roles are more on TV than cinema. Do you feel this difference? And are you happy when you find one on a movie that can be that strong and that complex?
Yeah. I suppose so. I mean, I've never really been like too concerned about film versus television, because I've had so much success in television, and it's just been amazing. It's sort of where my heart lies. Yeah. But I've also gotten the chance to do some pretty great roles in film as well. So I think the more and more there are complicated, interesting roles for women in film. But there have been before as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't see any evolution? Because this is a kind of also a fight that women have as a viewer or as industry workers. We need to see more and more real women, and we need to fight for this.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel it's getting better. It's easier.
It's getting better. It's not all the way yet. It's not great, but I think having a big studio film, like a big Universal Blumhouse movie, that's a monster movie, you know, The Invisible Man, and then putting a woman in it is a very good start.
Many roles that were very feminist, whereas it was Peggy in Mad Men that was showing how women can step up, and The Handmaid's Tale and Invisible Man. Is it something that you feel you have to do, or is it just the way role comes to you and that's the way it is, or is it something you feel it's a mission that you might have?
I don't think, for me, there's no like delineation. It's like you're a woman, you're a feminist. You're a strong woman, you're a feminist. It's a vulnerable woman, you're a feminist. For me, there's no like, the feminism thing is different, you know what I mean? Or this is the mission. It's just I'm playing women, real women. And to me, that if that's feminist, then great, you know? But to me, that's just something that I'm just trying to play women who are real, and women who have all the different sides to us that women have.
Do you feel it's heavy to, even for a movie or for a show, to be the face of this kind of message, to be the face of a fight?
For me, no, I don't feel like it's a heavy responsibility at all. I'm proud.
Do you feel it's a strange gymnastic to go from television to movies and go back and play with this?
No. I mean, I like television for that way. I like that I get to play a character again. I like that I get to live with a character for so many years and change it over the years as I change and explore it and everything. I kind of prefer it to playing something and then never getting to play it again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know Miss Lister was back.
Oh, very much so, ma'am.
Well, well, well.
When you see a period piece or a biopic, you always think, why am I watching this today?
Yeah.
What does it mean today?
This is a woman that wanted to marry another woman and who ran her life and educated herself and questioned gender roles in 1834. In 1832, we meet her. And I think that's astonishing. Whether you are part of the LGBTQ community or not, I think that this character is, she's so vulnerable and courageous to say, well, I deserve as much as you deserve, no matter what gender or whereabouts in society you are. I have something to give, I have something to offer. And I think that especially now, you know, in the world that we live in, I think whatever country you're in, I think we need a character like this.
Right now, there's such an appetite for this kind of content, for the subject matter, but also for these kind of female protagonists. I think that we've really figured out that audiences want this kind of story. So I think that that's incredibly important and relevant now. And also, what these women did was remarkably progressive. I mean, it sort of is unbelievable that this takes place in the 1830s, you know, and their struggles are struggles that so many women are still having now. And I think that this idea of gay marriage, which is such a modern issue, being allowed to be married, you know, despite what your sexual bias is incredibly modern and new, and it's surprising to see it in a period drama setting.
Yes.
But the themes are just human, and so I think that's what makes it timeless. And I think so much of the turbulence of their journey is Anne Walker grappling with what she's doing, you know, and whether this is right. You know, she was really religious, and everything that she was told from the day she was born, you know, she was told that the kind of person she's become is wrong and disgusting, and you know, she was a victim of the homophobia of the society she lived in. And it's so heartbreaking to see a woman go through that.
No one knows you better than I do.
Then you do know that I could never marry a man. Not for any reason, under any circumstance. It'd be perverse. It'd be absurd.
But the reality is that
I thoroughly intend to live with someone I love. I thoroughly intend to spend my evening hour with someone who loves me. Someone who is there all of the time, to share everything with. Not someone who just drops in every now and then whenever an irritable husband permits it.
And the reality is that that will never happen. This is what you can't see. And until you do, you're going to keep on getting into scrapes with women like Vere Hobart, and you're going to keep getting upset when they get married, which they will.
I'd like to know how you found her, the way she dresses, the way she walks, her voice, the way she speaks. How did she get into your skin?
Yeah, she's very specific, isn't she? Yeah. So in the diaries, there are lots of entries about the way she walks. She walks upright. She's often mistaken for a man. Her tone of voice is very deep. So we started with the diary entries to kind of build who she would be.
Yeah.
Then Tom Pye, our designer, came with lots of paintings and drawings that he'd made of men's clothes and women's clothes that were kind of horse riding outfits. That's where the top hats kind of come in from the high collars, because they looked quite masculine, even though they were feminine in that time for the sport. And we also know from the diaries that she did once dress as a man when she was younger, and she was experimenting.
Yeah.
So then I went to Cosprops, and I had the male section and the female section of the costume department, and we just started playing with how much we could kind of mix the two. She walked everywhere, and she always got everywhere quite fast. The timings of the diaries were quite fast, but I think it gave Sally, our creator and director, a real in with the energy of the show. So you constantly feel like you're keeping up with her, because she had so much energy, because she was so smart and so intelligent, that I think that whole creation of the look and the walk added to, you already know you're dealing with someone extraordinary before she's even opened her mouth. Yeah. I think.
It's like she walks as fast as she thinks, or
Absolutely.
something like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with her. Can I call again tomorrow?
Really?
At least nothing that a little spice of matrimony wouldn't cure. All she needs to do now is realise that the nature of what she feels for me is love.
Story Séries, c'est terminé. La semaine prochaine, on vous prépare le meilleur des séries politiques en compagnie de David Simon, Damon Lindelof et Michael K. Williams. Allez, à la semaine prochaine.